And welcome to the second half of week 2. Just wanted to answer some of the questions I seem to be getting quite a lot, and the first one is, yes, this van is up for sale, so I'm purely doing this to sell on. As I said before, it's a budget van. We're looking, at the moment, we're on the 24 grand mark. Second thing is, yes, I will convert your van. So if you have a van you want me to convert, my email's in the description. Send me an email and we'll talk about it. I've had a few people get in touch with like small vans, you know, your Vivaros, custom sort of size, and I'm happy to do those size vans, but they got our pop tops on first. I'm too old to be sort of trying to work and do an entire build slouched over. Right. Also, another question I've been having quite a lot on is the seatbelt on the passenger seat, which is a driver's seat. Now, there is a video on YouTube all about that, which I'll be honest with you is what I've stolen and what I used to do it. So let's take another look and I'll run through it quickly with you guys. So originally, here and here were little bolts, these things here, and the hole was only about 10-11 mil, so I had to re-drill the holes to make them 12. I've then used M12 threaded high tensile bolt bars. On the inside I've just got normal bolts with washers. On the outside I've got a washer with a nylon locking nut. Over on this side, same thing up to there, and then I've used 3 washers as a spacer to bring it out a little bit, followed by the seat belt, which is this section here, with another washer and another nylon locking bolt. Now, for that to fit perfect like it did, it was 405 mil long is what I cut it to. The seat belt is just there. Haven't tested it yet. I'm still waiting for the V5 logbook, so I've sent off to the DVLA over a week ago for that, so I'm still waiting for the logbook so that I can tax it, and the MOT's due one day this week, so it's booked in to have an MOT as well. It's also going to have a service, and I've just got to worry about the inside. So, in last video, we've just finished cladding that wall. Need to get this all cladded, but I can't do this cladding until I've carpeted this section here. I just think I'm going to get a nicer finish if I do the carpet first and then do the tongue and groove afterwards, because I don't want to be cutting carpet into tongue and groove. I want that tongue and groove to sit on top of it and let the seam be behind it. This is waiting to be carpeted, that's waiting to be carpeted, ceiling's waiting to be carpeted. I need a shower tray to crack on with the shower, and until the shower cubicle's in, I can't build the bench seat or the bulkhead for the bed. I mean, I probably could do the bulkhead for the bed, but the way I'm gonna do it is, again, is to reduce weight and materials being used, is the bulkhead of the bed is gonna run into the end panel of the shower cubicle. I've just got myself set up because I've been putting it off because it's such a tight space, but I'm just gonna get this insulated. I'm gonna do pretty much what I did here and just double layer on the dodo matting and then carpet it. I've already done the insulation down the sides and down in the bottom, so it's literally now just that exposed panel, and because we're gonna have that as like a storage area up there, then obviously I don't want to put too much up there and reduce our space, because there's not a massive amount of space anyway. So let's get moving. Right, that is that double lined in the dodo matting, so I've got 2 layers of it on there. I already had the plastic stuff in there, so you notice I don't use this a great deal. I'll only use it in these sort of spots where you just can't get PIR board, but if you can ever get PIR board in, always get the PIR board in first, because if you're, say, you know, doing a water inlet and you're cutting through, if you go into recycled plastic, it loves bunging up drill bits, hole saw bits. So just a lot easier. I find PIR boards just a lot easier and neater to work with. Hey guys, so it's actually Sunday afternoon and I've not recorded anything since Wednesday afternoon. So Thursday it rained all day, so I actually had a day in here building something, which I'll show you in a second. And then Thursday night we went up to the Overlander and we've spent Friday, Saturday there, and then come back here on the Sunday. And because I had Friday off, I'm going to work today instead. So let's have a look at what I did on Thursday. So we've done the electrical board, so it's all pretty much done. I got a couple of pieces still to add to it. I've got a double pole PV isolator for the solar to go here. These then go over to the MPPT charger. and I'm also waiting on the B to B, so I've got the outgoing cables ready and the incoming fused one. I've just got to bring the incoming pos and neg in these two holes here. We've got battery isolation, which just isolates the system, so that combined with the isolator on the solar panel will completely take this system down. Mega fuses for DC to DC battery, and then your 12-volt fuse board, which is here, so I'll have all my negs come here and all my pulses will come through here. Got the metal consumer unit in, so again, mains in, that'll go to the external electric hookup point, and then some bus bars. I know I've not recorded any of it, and I'm not going to record any of it because I'm not teaching people who aren't qualified to do electrics. It's, as you know, whilst to a lot of people this is quite straightforward and simple work, it could be something as bad as a bad crimp connection, you know, can cause problems and fires. So that's what my board looks like. They differ to all different sort of vans in terms of what you're putting in them. Today's task, I've just finished some little bits on this and the carpet has finally arrived. So that's here. We're gonna do the ceiling now. So I want to get the ceiling completely done, and then I also want to do the internal flares and also then get some tongue and groove up on the walls. And that's the ceiling carpeted. So I've still got just the trim ends to do, but I want to let this adhesive proper go off now before I go there. So I'm just going around all the edges with my hands and just making sure it's right up into the corners. So now that's done, I am going to trim just the skylight sections and get them neat so that I can fit the flanges, do the electrics, because say nights are getting darker and I want to get the two ceiling lights in, so that's my next job. Right, so it's the end of Monday pretty much, and yeah, I haven't picked the camera up much today, but it's been busy. I'm sure you guys can appreciate it's a fine balance between picking the camera up and getting work done, but we've made good progress today. I've got the rear quarters have been carpeted. This section is done. I've just got to tidy up the carpet, but here still got a carpet across the back here, and again just tidy up the carpet in that section. I've got another board and a bit to put across the top here, and I've still got the reveal of this window to do. As you can see, I have tongue and grooved all the kitchen area and made a start on the electric. So this one is a switch for the underwall cabinet that's going here. We're gonna have a 230 socket, and then there's two switches on this one, and that's what's gonna do the skylights. What else have we done? I've started on the bed, so I've got one of them in, so they're riv nutted here, and that's just a tapper. So I've got the middle sort of rafter in on both sides, but I don't really want to put the bed in yet because it's so easy for me just to come in and out the back. I think I'm going to try and put that in as late as I possibly can. I've ordered a fridge as well, so I do need to double check the height of the fridge and obviously correspond that with where the bottom of those rafters are going to be. We've got the bed lights. I've come through, they're done. I just gotta fix those on. They've been ordered, they're en route. I think that's pretty much it. It don't seem like a lot, but it's been a really long day. The rain's been on and off, so I really now want to get stuck into the furniture board side of things. I still haven't ordered the shower tray. It's been raining every day for the last good few days, and I need to get under the van to see whether or not I'm going to have a central waste outlet or a corner one. But yeah, I need to get under the van. I've had a quick look and I can see there is space, but there is also a chassis member going across, so I need to get some exact measurements so I can transfer them to inside and see which tray to order. So I think what I'd like to do tomorrow, if the weather's good, I'd now like to start building the timber frame for the shower wall there. And I'm gonna frame that because I clad both the inside and the outside. That allows me then to get the pipes in through the middle, and I'm also gonna do on the outside wall here a 12-volt socket so someone can put a TV there. Then we'll have the shower, and that's gonna come to about here. So if I can just at least build the two walls, well, the wall here and the timber battened wall that side, that will allow me to clad the outside of that wall. I can then do the bed bulkhead, and then I can do the bench. I can then get my electrics board in, and then we can do the kitchen, and it'll start coming on really quick. So I'm doing all the little fiddly things that just take time, and starting to second fix up some of the electrics. Like I got the skylights are all completely done now. I was a bit worried the lights that they provided wasn't going to be enough for the whole van, and I would have to do another one sort of down the centre, but they're plenty. One of them was like reverse polarity, and they had also had the LED strips in upside down, so the strips were pointing up to the ceiling, not actually down through these lenses. I had to completely take that apart, reconfigure it so that they were facing back down. But I think tonight I'm just going to finish this section up here, and tomorrow I really want to get on with this shower wall now and just start doing some furniture board. Morning guys. Right, today I know I said I didn't want to block the rear off, but I just want to get building on the furniture board now, to be honest. So I want to do the shower, but I'm just conscious that the bulkhead for the bed is then I'm gonna have problems with it later on. So I'm just gonna start right up with the first one, which is the bulkhead for the bed, and then make my way forward. So I've been in the van, I've got 1850 on the width of where this bulkhead's going to be, and luckily I haven't actually got to scribe this because I've got the battens going up the side. What I'm going to do is allow it to go just behind the two battens, and that will then rise right up to where we need it. So this is the shower end, so it's 1100 high, and then we're going to just do the typical dip in the middle at 900, and we'll put some nice curves in it, and then we'll run a knock-on edge trim on this. And then we're also going to have a cutout in the centre here, and that's going to be for the fridge, which I'm hoping arrives today, but I've got the measurements for it anyway, so we can factor that in. I just said want to get some furniture board in now. This wood is just all waiting here, waiting to go in, and I figured if I get this done, it then means I can do the shower wall, which I could do the second shower wall, and so on and so forth, and we could just get going. Gonna cut this one to 1850 first, then we'll cut it to 1100, and then we'll mark up and get the detail in. And it's absolutely hammering it down today, which is typical because it's a day of cutting. I'm gonna use my bench inside. I've got these stacked on my workbench at the moment because you've got to keep them flat, guys. If you stack them upright, then they're gonna bow. So what I've done is just put some 12mm ply both ends. I got my length cut just for here, so we're gonna get this cut to length, and then we can cut it to height. First cut going in. Now that's one thing I love about the track, so it's just so quick, so simple. You just put the end of your track up to your marked lines, which was 1850, both ends. I always use an extractor just to reduce dust. I've worked with it for years and my lungs are already suffering. And then it's just one straight cut. So we're going to perform the same operation now to cut it to height, and then we'll mark up the cutout on the top where you get in and out of the bed. Right, that's now ready for me to cut the height, which is 1100. So I'm actually now using 2 tracks to make the length, because they're 1400 each and this board is now 1850 wide. I've just changed the splinter guard on this track. If you know what I'm talking about, you know it's good days. New blade, new splinter tracks, love it. So we're going to get this cut and then we'll start cutting in our shapes and then we'll be able to edge band it. Beautiful. So I got a nice cut. Now this is the back part, so whenever you're cutting like that, always have your good part facing down. So now we're going to just measure up our cutout here and we'll get on to that. Okay, that's been cut out and I've got my shape. Now you might have noticed I was going to do this at both ends, but I figured as this is going down behind the shower, I might as well just do the one end. Our next job is to get this edge banded. This is the stuff I edge it in. It's a T-trim, just knock on trim. You've got to use a trim cutter on a palm router and just cut it into the center. So what I'm going to do first on this test piece here is just check what the depth is on this. I'll make any fine adjustments because we want this to be perfectly center over the 2 boards. Okay, so you can see the first one was too high, the second one was too low, but the third one is nice and central. So I can now run this all along here, get the edging on. That's going to now protect the nice edge that's on here and just get rid of any sharpness, and it's a nice finish as well. And that is what it looks like. Now a little tip with this trim stuff, some of them can be quite rigid, so if you are putting curves in your wood, use a heat gun just to warm it up a little bit. Very minimal, don't go mad on it because obviously you're going to melt it. You just want enough just to warm it up and you'll find it will ply around your curves a lot nicer. And that's what it looks like then, with the edging tape on. Happy with that. So this first piece is almost ready. The last bit that I've got to do is the cutout for the fridge. I don't think that comes till tomorrow, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go online, get the dimensions and work out exactly where it's going to go, and we're going to get the hole cut out. Right, so I've just flipped the board around because this is where the fridge needs to be cut out from. And I was literally just on my phone going to the website to find the brand and model of the fridge so I could get the dimensions for the cutout. And I've just had a delivery. So it's here. So the fridge has arrived. And I've also got my electric hookup cap. It's the one with the magnets. I do like these ones. These are the ones that are on my motorhome. And the water filling cap. And then I also got the lockable water cap for that, and that's the water pump. So really good time, and I only bought that on Saturday, so really impressed with that. So that's my fridge section now cut out. This is the back end of the bulkhead, and then I've trimmed that up quite nice. I went 5mm wider on the sides and then 10mm higher on the height because I'm still to put a floor down in the van. And now what I'm going to do next is some battens on the inside that go around the opening. I'll probably make it out of the furniture boards because most of these fridges, they screw in the side, so I want something beefy for that to screw into. But also if you do see it from the front, then I want it to match this board. Oh,
it's looking nice in here, love. What a difference.
Get in there. That's the bed built.
Ta-da!
Well, I don't like to leave these loose, so I do a couple of things. So I put some pop rivets in the side because it's 2 pieces that sort of slide one inside the other. So I just like to strengthen it by putting a couple of rivets in. So I've done these 2. I've just got to do this one. I should get a full-size mattress in here.
Did you go for the 135 fitting in the end?
Yeah, I've done the 135.
It looks really good.
Yeah, no, it is good. So this is ready to get the slat. I've finished the bulkhead. That's done.
Oh, I nearly fell over that.
That's come up really, really nice with the trimmed for the fridge, but I've also put some furniture board as battens because sometimes you can see down the side of the fridge. So I thought that would be nice just to keep that as one. So that's now in and squared off. I just need to get a fix in the centre bit, so I'll sort that out later. But something else I've completed, check those out.
They look good.
So this one be here. There's the rear.
Yeah.
The switch on the front.
Nice. So you can control them separately.
Yeah, so they're controlled separate, or you can control them as one because the two switches are actually on one switch, but they can be controlled independently.
Yeah.
I've got a single switch there. That's gonna do the wall cabinet light and the socket.
Yeah, it looks good. Very neat.
It's good because I'm gonna call it a day now. I gotta edit this video because that's due out tonight, and then tomorrow I'm gonna make a start with the shower because once I've got the two end walls in, we can then do the bench, and we're really gonna be away then. We'll be flying. So I'm excited. It's finally coming together.
I think this has come a long way actually in the last few days. It looks completely transformed from when I saw it last week.
It's all the little things. It takes a lot of time, you know, just doing these sort of trims and carpeting, and I've cleaned up where the two meet. That's all finished as well. So there's now no joint here, so that's nice and clean. So yes, I'm getting there. And I've been really impressed with these skylights. These skylights are by Max Fan, and they were £140 each with the lights, or £120 each without the lights, but you didn't have to buy any extras with it. It still came with the blackout blind and the fly screen. So I was really impressed with them. They've been really, really good. So we've just got on to furniture building. Join us in the next video where we're going to make some real good headway now on getting furniture board in here, get the slats on the bed. We're away. So until next time guys, have a good one.